So we're asked to expand x plus half x to the power of 7 using the binomial theorem. So in this case, I've just underlined the general expression a plus b to the power of n, which is equal to the sum of k equals 0 to k equals n of n choose k times a to the power of k times b to the power of n minus k. So in this context, let's let a equal x, b equal half x, and n equals 7. And from there, we can just substitute our values into this formula. So the first one is when we have n is 7 and we take k equals 0. So 7 choose 0 times a to the power of k, which is x to the power of 0, times b to the power of n minus k, which is half x to the power of 7. And then we're going to add that to 7 choose 1 times x to the power of 1 times half x to the power of 6. And slowly we increase this power and decrease this power until this power reaches 0 and this power reaches 7. Plus 7 choose 2 x squared times half x to the power of 5 plus 7 choose 3 x cubed times half x to the power of 4. Also, the 7 choose power refers to the combinations formula, whereby if you have 7 choose, well, no, let's just say n choose r, or n choose k in this case, that's equal to n factorial over n minus k factorial, k factorial. So for example, when in 7 choose 0, you'd have 7 factorial over 7 minus 0 factorial, which is just 7 factorial, times 0 factorial. And in that case, that would be 1. And then you do that for all the other ones, but you can also use a calculator to do so. Then 7 choose 4, we just continue with our pattern, x to the power of 4 times half x cubed plus 7 choose 5 times x to the power of 5 times half x squared plus 7 choose 6 times x to the power of 6 times half x to the power of 1 plus 7 choose 7 times x to the power of 6 times half x to the power of 0. So as you can see, this power over here is to continue to decrease until it reaches 0, and this power continue to increase until it reaches 7. Also keep in mind that you have to make sure this power is outside the bracket so that it raises the half to the power of 7 and the x to the power of 7. You do that for all the terms like that. So now let's simplify further. So we know 7 choose 0 is 1. So let's just write this as 1 times, and x to the power of 0 is also going to be 1 because anything to the power of 0 is 1. Times 1 times, and then 1 over 7 to the power of 1 over 2 to the power of 7 is 1 over 28, 1 over 128, and x to the power of 7. Plus 7 choose 1, we can just put this into our calculator. So you do 7 choose 1, you get 7 as your answer, times, and then x, times 1 over 2 to the power of 6, which is 1 over 64, x to the power of 6, plus 7 choose 2, which is, let me just put that in the calculator, 21, x squared times 1 over 32 x to the power of 5 plus 7 choose 3, which is 35, times x cubed times 1 over 16 x to the power of 4 plus 7 choose 4, which is 35, x to the power of 4, half 1 over 8 x cubed plus 7 choose 5, which is 21, x to the power of 5, 1 over 4x squared plus, and then we go 7 choose 6, which is 7, times x to the power of 6 times half x, plus 7 choose 7, which is 1. X to the power of 6, and then 1 again, because anything to the power of 0 is 1. Also, just keep in mind when you're looking at this that, I'm just going to do it in a different color, the combinations are in a palindromic sequence. So that means they can read forwards and backwards the same way. So what this essentially tells us is that 7 choose 1 is the same as 7 choose 6. 7 choose 0 is the same as 7 choose 7. There are pairs. Okay, let's simplify this further. So the first term will be 1 over 128 times x to the power of 7 plus 7 over 64 x to the power of 7 plus 21 over 32 x to the power of 7. As we can see, they all will end up equating to one term since they all have x in them. Plus 35 over 16 x to the power of 7 plus 35 over 8 x to the power of 7 plus 21 over 4 x to the power of 7 plus 7 over 2 x to the power of 7 plus x to the power of 7. Sorry, I just realized that this over here is an x to the power of 7. I just misread it because over here I wrote down wrong. Yeah. So this, when we simplify down, we can just put it into our calculator. Since they're all to the power of times x to the power of 7, we just add them all up. So 1 over 128 plus 7 over 64 plus 21 over 32 plus 35 over 16 plus 35 over 8 plus 21 over 4 plus 7 over 2 plus 1. That gives us 2187 over 128 x to the power of 7 as our answer, which if we expand further is just, it's roughly equal to 17 x to the power of 7. That's our answer.